What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down some very important things that the man, the myth, the legend himself, Elon Musk, said. He believes that Tesla could go up to $8,000 per share by 2034. He broke down some information about why he thinks that, and he talks about robotics and AI in some of his tweets. So I'm going to talk about that, and also break down the share price of Tesla, what you should be watching for as time goes on. Let me first mention I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And then don't forget about the Weeble link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $500 and you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. And the offer ends very soon in just about 3 days from now. Anyways, for Tesla, I just wanted to mention that Tesla pushed all the way up to about just under 199 a share. That's actually symmetrical with this double bottom like structure. And since hitting that top, Tesla is showing signs that might retrace just a bit, but it's not looking that bad. It's still on a very, very strong uptrend, and there is still a lot more upside potential for the share price. But looking at Tesla, we're going to be looking at the support around 194. We'll see how well Tesla holds up here. And overall, it's still holding up very, very well, even if we do kind of retrace just a bit. Overall, not bad whatsoever. So I will break down more details about Tesla in just a few minutes. I first want to talk about Elon Musk. What is he saying now? Musk has broken down something very important. So Tesla Economics has tweeted that the Tesla robotaxi will be a $5 to $7 trillion situation, and Musk is saying maybe higher. He's saying it's going to be worth even more than that. And the reason why he says this is because there's going to be so much potential coming from the robotaxi itself and a lot of revenue generation from this. There's also going to be a lot of hype, at least from investors, where we're going to see something like an Nvda styled squeeze for Tesla once we get the hype and once we get the big announcements to be coming out. So Musk is very optimistic about the robotaxi. He thinks that this is going to bring in the majority of Tesla's revenue, at least over the next couple of years, if this truly does come out, very, very soon. We are getting very close to some nice breakthroughs, and we've seen some very, very important executives and leaders come out and they're basically doing an examination of this. We had like Xbox CEO, for example, who believes that next year there's going to be a big milestone, chat GPT like moments for AI and autonomous driving. So he believes we're getting much closer to it and we're closer than a lot of people are thinking. So Tesla's getting very close to achieving autonomy, in my personal opinion, based off what we're seeing, based off how successful FSD could be. I don't think it's perfect yet. I still think that there's going to be quite some time until it's able to be launched, but there are already these services in like areas like San Francisco where they have these fully self-driving taxis coming out. So I'm just trying to say that we're getting closer, and this is not necessarily like a fantasy. This is not something straight out of like Star Trek or Star Wars. It is becoming our reality. But what gives Tesla value is not just this future valuation based off robotics and the robotaxi, but also because of AI. So Alex has now made this projection that by the year 2034, it's about 10 years from now, Tesla could be operating close to 100 million robotaxis and over 1 billion Optimus robots, while Tesla is a $24 trillion company. That's what he's saying right over here. And they've been talking about like these other things that are like the next Tesla killers. He's just referring to like the headlines that are very negative about Tesla, despite how big it's been growing. But Musk is saying that, hey, this is probably an accurate prediction. So he's saying that Tesla will probably be worth over $24 trillion in market cap, close to $8,000 a share, which is absolutely insane. And that's actually going to be a very, very big amount of growth for the company, at least moving forward. So he thinks that Tesla has potential to grow like crazy. Musk even said that Tesla could be worth 25 plus $1 trillion, once we get these AIs going. But you have to remember what's very important about Tesla's their product. Their product is going to be the most important thing. Their product is including a machine, okay? And you have to take this very, very carefully. A machine that's able to do human functions, okay? And these robots are capable of doing so much more than just building cars. They could start working in medical fields. They're able to assist people with babysitting. They can provide people with companionship. The list goes on with what these AIs and robotics are able to do. And Musk is saying that very soon, within a year, they'll have over 1,000 of these robots working in the gigafactories themselves. Now, say what you want about a Terminator situation or anything like that. I understand that, but at the end of the day, and based off what these robots are capable of doing, it's going to have a lot of benefits, at least for humanity. There's also going to be some cons. I'm not going to focus too much on like everything, or at least talk about like how it will affect humanity in that end. But what I will say is that it's still bullish for Tesla nonetheless, and that's what I'm kind of focused on, at least from this point. It's very bullish because it's going to give Tesla so much value, and it's going to give Tesla value, at least for its shareholders and such. So is Musk correct about us going to about $8,000 a share by 2034? It is possible. I do believe Tesla will go into the thousands. I can't wait to see what else is announced about this. And that's going to be very interesting. We're seeing a lot of headlines now talking about this, how Musk thinks that Tesla could hit a $24 trillion market capitalization by 2034. I think it's very possible, but who knows what's going to happen in the future. Musk is known for being very optimistic, and his dates are not always accurate. But once again, guys, nonetheless, it doesn't really change things because we're still very bullish on Tesla. I personally don't care if it's at 4,000, 5,000, 8,000 by 2034. I will continue to hold shares and do what I have to do. But this is very, very bullish news for Tesla and very awesome to hear. There's also been some talk right here about the number of Tesla vehicles delivered worldwide. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm seeing a lot of headlines about their deliveries. We're going to be looking to see how things look. Just know that Q2 tends to be like not the strongest, a little bit stronger than the Q1, at least in a lot of situations. So we'll see how Q2 looks, at least for Tesla, going into this next report coming out for next week. It's going to be coming out possibly on July 2nd, so I can't wait to see that. That's going to be very key, at least for us. So looking back at Tesla, what do I see right here? Tesla's pumped quite a bit, getting very close to 199. We called out this potential breakout if we got above 196. Now we're coming back down. I'll be looking at support at 194. If we lose this, we'll be looking for a dip for basically very close to 191.6 to about 192, that range. So I'll be watching this very, very carefully. In order for us to remain bullish, you want to see Tesla not only hold and close above 196, but also break past 200 eventually. I think we got very close to 200. We will eventually go up higher. For the short term, we might see Tesla continue to shuffle between 196 and 194. We could even dip a little bit lower, but that's going to be fine because Tesla could still rebound later. So overall, it still looks bullish to me, but I see a risk of some sideways price action, at least for the time being. For SPY, the 4 hour is actually looking a little bit more bullish to me. We have resistance at 545.8 and also at 547. We did touch 547 as I predicted yesterday. We have not been able to crack it yet, but we're getting closer. And if we end up losing 544, I'd be watching 543, and I would turn bearish if we lose 543. So overall, I would say we look more bullish on SPY. I do favor upside a little bit more. I think we could try to break past 547. So overall, the chart is looking a bit more bullish to me. But in order for this to really break out, we have to break past 547 going into tomorrow and beyond. With PCE coming out, we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. As of right now, SPY is range bound, but we are seeing some bullish technicals developing as SPY is building strength and starting to actually try to show signs it's trying to turn. So I would say we have this nice range that's established, but there is more upside potential. Looking at this, if we can break 547, this will depend on PCE and such, but it's still building some strength. Nvidia pumped all the way up to about this 130 area, came down a bit. We're still shuffling basically between 123 and 125. It's still shuffling, so it's not necessarily the end of the world, but we'll see if Nvidia tries to get a break or not, a little bounce or so. So I'll give this some time just to see if that ends up being the case. We're still range bound. If we lose 123, we'll be looking for a dip back down to 120. And if we end up breaking past 126, we'll look for a bigger pump. We're still in the middle, so give this some time. The QQQ is also building some strength. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. If we could break past 482, I'll be looking for a push for 484. And if we end up losing 479.5, we'll be looking for a dip back down to 478 and eventually 476 to the 50 EMA. So with this nice little break, we have a potential uptrend being established here, nice inverse head and shoulders. So I think the QQQ has a little bit more upside potential to push up to 482 than 484. So I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. For Bitcoin, if Bitcoin could break past 61,600, we'll be looking for 62,800 as the next potential targets. We're trying to push a little bit higher, so I see potential in this. I'm seeing potential in Bitcoin to try to bounce, so it's looking pretty good. Aapl just shuffling right now between 215 and 212, but there is upside potential in Aapl try to push up higher towards 217. If we break past or close above 215, I'll be looking for more upside. If we fail to do so, we could be dipping back down to about 211. But overall, the structure on Aapl is looking a little bit more bullish as we have a nice cup that's forming right here. And this could lead to a nice accumulation and a nice push up higher. For Supermicro, now we had this head and shoulders like structure, but I told everyone to watch this range right here because we might be pushing back up to 844. Instead, this could be a trap, at least temporarily. The head and shoulders is not playing out. We're actually showing more signs of pushing higher. So if we close above 852, there's a good chance we go all the way up towards this imbalance at 880. So we could be looking for the 880s on Supermicro for a temporary bounce, and we'll see if we reject or not. But so far, it's showing some life. AMD is rebounding a bit. We did call this out as well. I told you that it might retest 155 then bounce. That's what happened. We're going to be looking at 160 as our next resistance. We could be pushing higher towards that. The IWM Russell 2000 is also trying to push higher for 202. Going to be looking for a test of 201 and 202. Amazon's continuing to hold up very nicely, breaking past 195, looking bullish. Going to be looking for a push for 196 to 197.5, bullish overall. Meta is also breaking out. Going to be looking for a test of this high right here. 520 is going to be our resistance. We also have key support at 518 and 515. I think we could push higher into the 520s, looking pretty good in my opinion. Microsoft is also looking more bullish on a very, very nice looking uptrend, and we could be looking for 456 and eventually much higher levels as we continue this uptrend from here. For Google is also on a very, very nice looking uptrend as well. We could be looking for 187.5 and eventually higher levels like 188. There's a good chance this will continue to push higher, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. But overall, so far, so good. Looks bullish in my personal opinion. GameStop is showing some life. I want to see it try to break past 25.6. If we break this, we're going to be looking for a nice push on GameStop to get closer to 30. And also AMC is breaking out, breaking above 4.75. If we close above that, I'm going to be looking for a move closer to $5 very soon. It's building some strength, in my opinion. So the market is building some strength. Tesla's holding up very well so far. And I think there is a lot more upside potential to get to the 200s and eventually 220s. The next catalyst is going to be delivery. So we'll see if deliveries helps that out. But overall, Tesla is looking very good and may continue to push as we approach tomorrow and beyond. So far, so good from Tesla, at least for the short term. And also for the long term, Musk is still telling us that we have a lot of upside potential catalysts from the robotaxi, not to mention Tesla's notorious AI development with the new robots and such. So I can't wait to see what the future holds. With that being said, I want to thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. Thanks again, and peace out.